My name's Sam Clark. I'm with CPFD, and I'm here with a few recipients of CPFD's Student Travel Awards for this year's 2018 annual meeting at AICHE. And we are just going to ask them a few questions about what they're working on, and with respect to particle technology in particular. So to begin with, Kyriakos, can you give an introduction to yourself and your university and what you're looking at in your PhD work?
My name is Kyriakos Kunith. I am from the New Jersey Institute of Technology, and my thesis mainly deals with predicting bulk scale properties of powders from particle scale interactions. So basically, I try to predict blend packing and blend flow and blend content uniformity of pharmaceutical powders from the particle size distribution, particle density, etc., etc.
My name is Clara Harvinchen. I'm a PhD student at Rutgers University, and my thesis is on doing simulations of particles in a bladed mixer and looking at the heat transfer of the particle bed. And more specifically, we're looking at the effect of material properties as well as processing conditions. And this work has implications for pharmaceutical drying. And so that's my research.
I also have Ben here. So Ben, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Ben Freirich. I'm the technical director at Particulate Solid Research Incorporated.
Excellent. Yeah, thanks for being here. And so one thing that we wanted to talk about was just in the world of particle technology, did any one of us ever have a course in our undergrad curriculum when we were actually studying particle flow? It seems like a lot of people get into it as a grad student, but maybe not as an undergrad. So I know for me personally, I don't think I ever have had any particle flow courses. Can any of you speak to that?
Sure.
Yeah.
I definitely did have a class where a small section, about a month or so, dealt with particle flow, cell flow in microreactors. So and that was very interesting.
Cool.
Where did you go to school that you got?
NJIT.
You did it at NJIT as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
In my experience, I personally didn't have any classes specifically geared towards granular material. I had transport phenomena classes, as is typical in chemical engineering, but for me, I found that the focus was really on looking at mathematical representation of solids and liquids, so
Right.
continuous materials rather than granular materials. So for me, I hadn't had any exposure to granular materials until I became a graduate student.
Right, exactly. How
Yeah,
about
and
you?
I definitely didn't when I was in undergrad, but I went to graduate school for it because I wanted to study fluid mechanics and solid mechanics, and I figured it was a good way to do that. But actually what's been found is that university students in the United States have about 18 minutes of lecture time devoted to particle technology in the chemical engineering curriculum.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
which in contrast, we've got about 80% of new process engineer projects, once they're graduated, if undergraduate level go into companies, 80% of their projects are devoted to particle technology.
Oh, wow.
So
yeah, it
it's-
touches so many things in
it's
all
a-
these fields.
Definitely incongruent with what we educate and what we require.
Right, exactly. And now maybe one more thing, since I work for a CFD company, I like simulations, and I know Ben loves simulations too. And are both of you doing simulation work for part of your PhD?
I am not, but I did
Okay.
some for my master's.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, I'm doing simulations.
Okay. Are you writing your own code, or are you using a commercial code? Or?
So I'm using a commercial software, so I'm using EDIM,
Okay.
and I'm using MATLAB as well to do the data analysis.
Okay, nice. And that's the other thing that I think we see a lot in industry is, once you get into a job, a lot of times you are called to use some sort of computational product to help you with your engineering decisions. So, the final thing that I want to talk about is the Particle Technology Forum. So this is part of AICHE. It's one of the special divisions that they have. And so definitely encourage people to find that on AICHE's website. And Ben, maybe do you have something to say about the PTF? I know you're involved in that.
So I'm in the PTF executive committee, and we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 plus members, some of them undergraduate engineers. But I would recommend that you join the PTF if you have an interest in particle technology, and you're also a member of the AICHE. You can get hooked up with a lot of resources because we don't have access to this in undergraduate education. You can find people who have experienced this in their work lives. So.
Excellent, thanks. Well, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you participating in this interview.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.